Hello, Ryan Tweet here, and I'm excited to share with you some information about a tool that we use to help our business grow. And how we use this tool, it's a sales and marketing strategic spreadsheet. And we start with our goal. And with this particular goal, I'll explain it to you backwards because we always start with a goal. When we ever do any sales and marketing planning, it's always start with the goal first and we work backwards. But we can also transcend the goal and go farther in, so we can farther down the line. And what that means is we look at lifetime value of a customer, how many times a customer will buy in a X amount of time, how many referrals that customer could generate. So not every customer is going to refer, but if we can get a 20 to 30% referral rate, that's huge for some businesses, and it compounds over and over and over again. So, but we're going to look at this purely from just an acquisition and acquisition costs in order to acquire a customer. And so we're going to start with 100 customers. That's our goal right now. And if we generate roughly $1,600 per sale on a Sprinter van, the base model, and we're able to acquire 100 customers, this is what it's going to cost on average if we were going to pay per click. And so I'm gonna highball it. I like to run conservative numbers, so that way we can over or under promise and over deliver. And so we're gonna jack up the cost in order to acquire a customer. So now let me ask you a question here first before we really get into this. If you had to pay $500 to acquire a customer, would you do it if your net return was $1,680? All right. If you answered yes, you're a smart business owner. If you answered no, we got some questions for you. So, what this is going to do to acquire 100 customers, and our revenue per client is $1,600, the cost it's going to take to get to that customer is roughly $500. Now, how do we get to that? It's a great question. So we do marketing math, and we're going to actually do it backwards because marketing acquires the leads, leads go to the sales guy close them. If your sales guy can only close 20% of the high quality leads that give their phone number, that call, that submit form submissions on your website, asking for more information. If your sales guy can land 20% of them, so that's out of 100. Out of 500 leads, he can close 100 of them. Okay, so that's exactly what we're going to do. Is if he can close 20%, we'll get him 500. All right, so that gets us to our goal. So we have to acquire 500 leads. Now, how are we going to acquire 500 leads? So the whole process about acquiring these 500 leads, we're gonna double this actually. Actually, we're gonna go 25. We're gonna do 5% here. Okay, so I just dropped it down. As you can see, I went from 10 to 5%. So we're gonna lowball this, right? And so to acquire those customers, 500 customers, and we got 5% conversion rate on our leads. We can generate leads at a 5% rate. That means we need to generate roughly 10,000 people. Okay. So let's look at this going through. Over the course of a year, let's oops. There we go. So over the course of a year, our company generates through SEO, if we can get 27 new customers to your website a day, we'll give you roughly 10,000 new leads, or sorry, 10,000 visitors. to your website. So we can get 10,000 visitors to your website. That's 27 new people a day, right? And if we can convert 5% of them to give them a special offer to learn more, that means we can acquire roughly 500 leads. From those 500 leads, if your sales guy can close 20% of them, he'll get 100 customers. From that, the acquisition cost for that client for the marketing was $1,000. All right. So so you made $1,680 on the sale. It took $1,000 to acquire them. Net profit $680. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. All right. So first year sales revenue from this marketing campaign is $168,000. Acquisition cost is $100,000 if we're paying per click, right? And so your net income, estimated net income, is $68,000 after the acquisition cost. So if you can do this within 3 years, and it's a beautiful thing with SEO is you don't have to pay per click every single year. So this acquisition cost, you don't have to pay for that next year after you get to those rankings for those. So what's beautiful is you can compound that and compound that and compound that. So our clients, they don't quit with us. They just compound their investment by going after more keywords. And so that's what we want to do for you is we want to increase your business so that you can continuously compound your growth over time and become even more successful, even more successful, even more successful. Okay. So as you can see here, the valuation of SEO is so much higher than pay-per-click advertising, which a lot of your complementary companies that are in other states, so other Mercedes Benz Sprinter van dealerships in Chicago or Ohio or other cities that we looked at, and so you'll see that they're running pay-per-click campaigns and they're spending $1,500 a month, and they're gonna have to spend that into oblivion every single month over and over and over again. But see, if they would optimize their website, they'd actually get more traffic and they would actually get more leads because there's more trust for people when they're looking at a website when they look at non-ads to get there. Let me rephrase that. When you're searching on Google and you're clicking on a result that's showing up, you trust that result more if it's not an ad. That's the way that consumers are working, and that's how they browse the web. All right. So now that you got an understanding of how this spreadsheet works, let me go through it one last time. To get 100 customers, if your sales guy can close 20% of them, you have to generate you roughly 500 leads. Okay. Of those 500 leads, we acquire that from 10,000 visitors over the course of a year, roughly, give or take, and roughly 27 visitors a day. If you look at the stats, you'll see that that's totally doable. And so, because what that ends up being a month is times 30 roughly, so it's 833 visitors a month. Yeah, that's that's nothing. I know a local chiropractor that's doing more than that, and so your profitability is going to go extremely high because you have a fairly decent cost or income from each sale. Now, let's just say your sales guy can actually increase the sales closing rate to 2,000 versus 1,600. Now your revenue after acquisition cost is $1,000. So as you can see, the numbers can start to be fine-tuned just like a sports car. And what we did was run baselines, and so we believe that your sales guys can do better than this. We believe that any good sales department should be able to close 35%, and we continuously focus on decreasing the cost of the click-through rate. So we get our click-through rate cost down to $5. Look what it does for profitability, from 10 to 5, right? So you're starting to see how these numbers work. Okay. So when we get acquisition cost per click down to 0, because that's what SEO does, you don't have to pay into oblivion. You get the rankings and you stick there. Really cool, right? So your acquisition cost becomes zero and your profitability is high. So that's what SEO does. It gets rid of your cost per click. But if you want to go ahead and keep continuing by pay-per-click ads, roughly $10 a click from Google, go right ahead. It's not the recommended business model, but we know that you're making a smart decision because you are selling Mercedes-Benz, and they have genius engineers and a great company. So if you want to represent that same quality of company and you want to work together with a high performance SEO company, we are the people to do that, and we'd love to work with you and partner with you and grow a business with you for life. And so thank you so much for watching. I look forward to talking with you guys, and if you have any questions, feel free to get in contact with me or JT. Take care and have a great day.